Hi everyone, Shaniqua Benjamin, Croydon Poet Laureate, back again. And I am facilitating my first residency with the Museum of Croydon called Voices of Croydon. It's all about ensuring the voices of all in Croydon are heard, that we are truly represented, and that we are looking like the Croydon that we live in and see today, which is why we are asking for responses specifically from young people from Black, Asian, and minority ethnic backgrounds because there are gaps in the collection and a lot of their voices are not truly represented. So we're trying to change that to ensure that we're all heard and that we're all seen. So we are going to be writing some poetry to contribute to the museum and the collection and be part of Croydon's legacy going forward, which is a really, really cool, amazing thing. And the works will be on an exhibition online and also a continued online offering. So if you want to be part of that, go and get a pen and some paper right now because we're going to do a little online workshop, a little mini poetry workshop. So get a pen and some paper. Today we're going to be looking at the archives and the collection as part of the Museum of Croydon, which is really, really huge. It's made up of objects and records and photos and articles donated by Croydon residents and organisations. So you really get to see, see Croydon's history. They've also got a number of oral histories which reveal information about people who have lived in Croydon and their lives. So we're getting this really rich history of what Croydon was like for different groups of people and what it was like, growing up here and different things that happened here that we probably wouldn't get to see and get an insight into that. Unfortunately, I don't have any oral histories to show you right now. There's a lot to really, really go through, a lot of things to go through. If you go on the Museum of Croydon website and look at their archives and collections, you can't see things, but you can get an idea of what is there. Go and check that out. See what you think. Are there any gaps there? Is it relevant? Let us know. But what I want to do is get some stuff from you that is relevant to contribute to the museum. So I want you to think about if you were writing your memoir or telling the story of your history, but I would think about telling the story of history or that memoir through a poem in poetry form. Hopefully you got that. So before we get on to writing that poem, we gotta free our minds a bit. So we're gonna do a guided free write. A free write is basically when you get all your thoughts out of your head onto paper. It can be incredibly random, it can be thought through. Just make sure you're getting your thoughts on the paper on a specific thing. So think about if you're telling a memoir, your history of Croydon. What would it be? Just pile that out in 2 minutes. But I'm going to be interjecting with a few things for you to put your sentences to start with, just to get you thinking different things throughout. Cool? So 2 minute timer. Start with the words I am and write from there. So I am 2 minutes starting now. I remember. What stood out? Keep writing. time's up. So keep that free write. You're going to need it later. So you've done your free write and got your mind going. Now it's time for some inspiration. So hopefully you get inspired by this poem, which I absolutely love. It's called Ode to Edge Control Gel by Theresa Lola. Hopefully also get you inspired, ready for your writing. You body of vicious liquid that drapes my hair into a cape to conceal my shame. You italicize my insecurity so it reads like sleeked back baby hairs. I had become the people I chuckled at. I would tweet hashtag no edges and pour my laughter in between the thin hair strands of others. You loosened karma's buckle on me, reduced the number of eyes gawking at the naked circle of scalp on my edges. It was not a domineering tug of weaves or braids that caused my breakage. The void inside me had replicated itself on my scalp, spread its fire to my hair strands, and turned my edges into an extinct forest. My mother and I listened as a doctor said hair loss can be the body's reaction to stress. Asked if it was due to my exams or boy trouble, I had no answer. Sometimes it's impossible to tie your hollowness to tangible things. Doctor handed me a white cream to rub out the indignity, told me to give the wait for hair growth a few weeks. While I waited, you leapt in without asking for a backstory. You poured shine to my thin hair edges as if to say my crown deserves to be polished, even when a jewel is missing. Just love that poem. Love this whole book. It's amazing. If you can get it, get this. But anyway, so hopefully after you've warmed up and got some inspiration, you're now ready to write your poem. So remember, you're writing your poems. If you're telling your story, your history, writing your little memoir of your life so far, maybe a certain area of your life, a certain time, certain things, school days, maybe work days, maybe it's about a specific area of your life, but a little memoir, a little oral history about you in poetry form. And once you've written that poem, please do send it in with using the form below to the Museum of Croydon so it can be part of our exhibition. And think about how you want to send it in. Do you want to do it as a written poem, like for blog form? Do you want to do an audio piece? Do you want to do it to music? Do you want to do a video, a visual art piece? Think about how you want to present this poem to be part of the exhibition and also future online offerings to be part of Croydon's legacy going forward. We need to hear from you. We need your voices. I look forward to checking out your poetry.